Hey, and welcome back to It's Okay. Happy Friday. It's 10/17/25. Goo wop. I'm so lame. That's like a Gucci Mane reference if you know Gucci Mane. Anyway, happy Friday, my friends. The government is still shut down, if it's still shut down. It's the 17th, so it would be shut down for 17 days if it's still shut down. And I thought we would discuss it. It's popular, it's a hashtag, it's everywhere, and it's pretty interesting. It's boring for sure, but it is interesting. So I thought we would, dive into the previous shutdowns. There really aren't that many, and discuss things going on today. And I would give you some updates as well, because why not? Why not? It's Friday. I'm chilling. We're over the hump. Things are looking great for America, aside from the government shutdown. But the government shutdown, though, it's really like, I don't get it, but I do at the same time. So let's dive into it. Why not? Let's dive into it. First, the government, the country, America has been going on for over 200 years, celebrating 250 years of America next year, 2026, apparently, depending on who you ask. And the first ever government shutdown was on November 23rd, 1981, underneath the Reagan administration, but it only lasted for a day. So I don't really know how notable that really is. And then it shut down twice underneath the Bill Clinton administration. He was a feisty one, as we know. And it shut down on November 14th, and it only shut down for 5 days. And then it shut down again in December 16th. On December 16th for 21 days, leading into the next year, 1997. I still had not been born yet. So I had not felt the effects of any of these, did not know any of them ever existed until I looked into government shutdowns. And then after 1997, they opened the government back up. After that 21 days, no government shutdowns. Then in 2014, the government shuts down underneath Obama's second administration on October 1st, and it was over Obamacare. They were not agreeing over Obamacare. Apparently, Obamacare still sounds like it's trash if you ask certain people. And then the famous one, the one that is the longest one in American recorded history. Yes, you were alive for it, as was I. I was not affected by the one in 2014. I was alive, and I was in middle school, I think, elementary going into middle school, something like that. Or actually, I may have been in high school. 2014? Was I in high school? Oh God, I don't even remember. It's not that long ago, but it was that long ago. So we'll figure that out another day. But I wasn't affected that I knew of. And then in 2019, the longest one in recorded history happened on December 22nd of 2019, and it was over the border wall. Now, they shut the government down for 34 days because of this, and it ended up going, I believe, in Trump's favor. He wanted $5.7 million for the funding of the border wall. Sounds like they did a lot of construction. They did get a lot of the wall up. Sounds like it's still going on today. But that was the longest one in history. I was not a federal worker, was not receiving federal benefits, so I was not largely affected for that 34 days that it was shut down. Now, this time around, I am still not a federal worker, nor am I receiving federal benefits. So I'm not affected by it still. And you hear them say, so-and-so's not going to get paid and this is not going to get paid. And we're going to get into the back end of that. I think it's just a bunch of horse crap. But these are the things that they're saying because of the shutdown. So-and-so's not going to get paid. So-and-so's not going to get paid. And it's like, all right, guys, whatever. So let's get into why the government is shut down as of October 1st, 2025, leading into today, October 17th, 2025. So, July 4th, 2025, Independence Day, July 4th, Stand Up for Your Country, Bill O'Reilly. Trump passes the Big Beautiful Bill, right? The Big Beautiful Bill is also called the 11921, also known as the Fiscal Year 2025 Reconciliation Act package. Trump signs this into law. It is a 99-page bill, and it includes a whole host of things: fundings for this, fundings for that, and unfundings and strippings away of some things. So it's noted that able-bodied men who are able to work will not receive Medicare. That was a thing that was going on apparently. So they're like, no, you can't receive that. And also money for illegal immigration. I'm going to kind of get into that because there is a loophole when they go through that and they say that, because they also, and by they, Republicans, Democrats, you've got Democrats saying like immigrants don't receive health care, and they don't because the C19 the 11921C, it's so confusing. They make it confusing on purpose so that you don't be interested in it, so that you don't understand what they're doing, so that they can spend money on a load of horse crap. So they are requesting that, that be put into the 11921, which is signed into law, yada, yada, yada. They go through that. You've got Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House for the Republicans. Then you've got the Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, for the Democrats. They call him the minority leader because there's not that many representatives of Democrats in the House at this time. And in the Senate, they have the majority. They won the House, the Senate, blah, blah, blah. You hear those things? Okay. So in the House, they passed a clean CR. You hear them say that. I hear them say, oh, it was 24 pages. I actually only found 14 pages that it was. But it was a clean CR, if you think about it. It really was just them continuing doing what they're already doing. They are asking for, small increases on certain places here and there, certain programs here and there. It really isn't a lot if you really look into it and try to understand it. Now, the reason why they are so upset and they're trying to give $1.5 million to illegal immigrants and healthcare subsidies, this is where the game comes into play with the wording, right? So you hear them screaming, look on page 57, look on page 57, it's there, illegal immigration. When you actually go and look at page 57, on there, it's 68 pages that this ended up being. It says, an act to provide for reconciliation pursuant to Title II of H, Congress, Representative 14. Title II of H is what the House Representatives passed to the Senate. Of H, Congress 14. Public Law 11921, which is the Big Beautiful Bill, is repealed, and any law or regulation referred to in such subtitle shall be applied as if such subtitle and the amendments made by such subtitle had not been enacted. All of that is a bunch of mumbo jumbo. All of that is roundabout words. And what it is saying, quite literally, is they want to repeal 11921. 11921 is the big, beautiful bill. In the big, beautiful bill, they specifically say, no, illegals will not be receiving health care. And actually, when you look at it, they're like, oh no, it won't be going to illegals. It actually doesn't even say it won't be. It says it won't be going to most. It says it won't be going to most. So when you look at that word and you're like, wait, you guys are telling us no more healthcare for illegal aliens. Your tax dollars will not go to this. But then when you look at the document, I'm seeing the words most illegal immigrants. Healthcare will not go to most illegal immigrants. I'm interpreting that with what I will. You do the same. Sounds like you guys are not fully opposed to some getting it from what I see. So you have that. And I see what they're saying now when they're like, they want to give it to illegals. And that's exactly what they're trying to do when they do that. Now, you pay into the federal government, right? The federal government then distributes the tax dollars, is what I am gathering and learning. I might be wrong. Now, of course, these states get money from the federal government, and the state, then use the money for, health care for, the constituents in their state, and it in sanctuary cities can totally go to illegal. So that's kind of how they get around that. And they're trying to not have that happen, but that's why the government is currently shut down. You have the House, who passed a 14-page bill, a CR, a continuation resolution is pretty much what it's called, which is a continuation of the funding of the government. They passed a 14-page one, and it's really, like I said, not any uptick in money that they're asking for. It pretty much really does say a continuation. I saw one that said Medicare Improvement Fund. So they want to adjust the amount of funding in the Medicare Improvement Fund from 1.2 billion to 1.8 billion. So there is that they, asked for, but they approved it. It approved in the House, I should say. So they approved it in the House to be sent to the Senate. And then the Senate is like, okay, yes, all of this, but we're going to add. And they didn't have to do that. They could have just, bam, okay, cool, you guys put this 14 pages for us to go ahead and send it through. We'll send it through. No, they didn't do that. They wanted to add a bunch of this other stuff. And it's notable to think that your congressmen and your senators are supposed to go to Capitol Hill, the White House, Congress, and they're supposed to vote and fight for what we send them to do. And I just am not seeing that too much. Let me know if I'm wrong. But also in what the Senate tried to pass forward with all of their addings. I mean, they did ask for, the regular stuff, funding for, healthcare and Medicare and HUD and all that stuff, as well as, what the House passed, but it was just a continuation. They didn't want to add a bunch of stuff. It just quite literally was a continuation. Like you can look at one, funding requirements, stop certain one-time investments and funding designations in fiscal year 2024. The section also cancels certain rescissions that are no longer viable in fiscal year 2025. So they're wanting to do that. It just sounds like a continuation for the most part. There was one thing that I saw, what the Senate decided to add to the House's reconciliation, the reconciliation package. It sounded like, and I don't know if this was already in the House's package already, because, the wording, they try to do those roundabout words. It could already be something that the government is currently doing. But they ask for an amount of $4,900 million to go to Corporation for Public Broadcasting. There is appropriated $4,900,000 for an additional amount for fiscal year 2026 to remain available until September 30th, 2026 for payment of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, provided that such payment shall be made no later than 3 days after the date of enacting of this act. So if this 68-page document were to have been passed and they would have kept the government open, yada, 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 they would have given $4,900 million to Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Now, I don't know why that is needed, what that is for. They also said that they need it in 3 days upon approval. I'm like, oh wow, they want that money up front in 3 days. Not a piece of it, not a half of it, all of it in 3 days upon approval. I didn't have time to read the whole 68-page document, because that's 68 pages of my life I would not get back. But it is kind of crazy to think about that. Like, what even is that? And then also, this is something that I didn't know, and all of this is taxpayer dollars, if I'm wrong. Something that is, it's not bad, but it is something I kind of want to dive into a bit. So you have as well, they approve funds for this, they approve funds for that. They also approve funds for widows of representatives who have passed. So they will receive a one-time payment of their annual salary. I don't know if anyone has ever looked into the salaries of these people. You can look into the salary, the net worth, Cardi B, Beyonce, it's out there. It may not be all the way 100% accurate, but for the most part, they get it right. And you also have some people who come out and just, yeah, my net worth is this, yeah, my net worth is that. And then the reporting of what their net worth is that. Now, whatever. It's a lie. They're lying about their net worth. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Look, this is something worthy to note. In the CR, the conciliation resolution or the continuation resolution, I think I'm saying that right. Isn't that what that is? Yeah, continuing resolution, the CR. They also ask for the provision of the payment for such and such. I won't say her name. I mean, it's public, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Widow of representative of the state of Arizona for $174,000. So each widow is awarded that exact amount, $174,000, because salary annually, that is what a representative of your state makes from taxpayer dollars. That is what they are supposed to make. Of course, they can make additional money on top of that with book deals, interviews, and different stuff like that, which is fine. It's okay. But when you hear that they go there and they're supposed to be fighting on behalf of American people who are living paycheck to paycheck, and you're supposed to, rely on these representatives that you vote for, these senators, these governors, these politicians that you vote for, and they go there and they are trading stocks, They are making millions of dollars. It's quite crazy, right? So also, that's what a representative makes. A senator only makes just as much as that. I think their cap is like $200,000 a year annually. So, a representative is only serving a 2-year term. So in 2 years, they only make under $400,000, literally. And that's what they are to be paid. That is in the Constitution. That is law. They have not changed it as of what I know. But regardless of that is your salary, that's what you're supposed to be making. But you end up making millions more while the people who elected you are still living. I genuinely find that absolutely egregious. I do. So let's look at this. Presidents, if you can Google this, what they all are making or what they're supposed to make, because it's like any job. When you apply for the job, these are the qualifications that we expect you to have. This is the rate that we're going to pay you if you meet these qualifications and we hire you. That is what that is. A president only makes $400,000 a year. That's what the president is supposed to make. So you have a president who is there for 4 years. They're only going to make under $2 million there for 4 years. You have people who are making $2 billion a year, $1 million a year, whatever. For 4 years, a president is only supposed to make under $2 million. 1.6 million. 1,600 to be exact. Okay, 1,600 million to be exact. Okay, so when you receive that into your brain, you're like, okay, yes, you have the president. That's what they're supposed to make for the year. Should the president get paid to go on TV? That's up to whoever to decide. I don't know if the president should be paid to go on TV. That's additional revenue that they could be receiving. Books that they make, yes, that's additional revenue they could be receiving. Now that I get. A president who writes a book, who is currently president, receiving money from that. Okay. Like things like that, books, okay. But speaking engagements, I don't really know about that. And that's where it got into play. I haven't done a complete deep dive on every president. I've done a slight one on Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, yes, as president, was getting billions of dollars. Him and his wife Hillary, billions of dollars shoveled into their bank accounts while in office. That is not supposed to be a thing. Then you have Obama. Obama was president for 8 years. So he was only supposed to receive under $4 million for that term. President Obama is worth $8 billion. His net worth. When you Google it and his assets, he has this house and that house. If he was there for 8 years and was only supposed to make over $3 million, and you have multiple homes that are worth millions of dollars, how are you able to afford that? I don't know what he was doing as president to be receiving millions and millions and billions of dollars. It's just something to look into. And it's not just him. It's presidents, it's politicians, period. We all hear about the Nancy Pelosi tracker, a representative in Congress. She was the Speaker of the House for Donald Trump's first term. She's worth way more than Obama. I think she's in the double digits of billions, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, it's wild. It's wild to think as a representative, a year you're only supposed to get paid $1,000 or $100,000, and you're worth billions of dollars. And we all know that it's not fair. They're trying to put things into place underneath the Trump administration of 2025, things into place so that they're not able to do that, because that's grimy. It's grimy. And it's like, man, I'm thinking about becoming a representative of a state. Like, all you have to do is move there, be a representative, get voted in. Some of them only receive like 1,000 votes, and then all of a sudden they're a representative. That is insane to me. And you have people who come in and, hey, we're going to pay you billions of dollars to lie to the American people. Billions of dollars to lie to the American people. Sign me right up, buddy. Like, how could you blame them if you really ask about it? Like, come on, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But as I stated, this is a pre-recorded episode. If I didn't state, it is. And this is October 13th of the recording of this, and then the release of this on 10/17. They are supposed to vote on whether they're going to open the government back up on October 14th as of Tuesday. So there may be an update thrown in on this episode that the government was opened back up, and actually 10/17 the government wasn't closed because they opened it back up. I'll be on the lookout for that. Now, moving forward from this discussion, because my head hurts. Friday episodes, I notice, this is only my third one, but each one makes my head hurt. It truly does. Sunday's episodes are easy because I'm just talking about what I want to talk about. This, do I really want to be talking about it? It's interesting, and it is fun to like dive into the facts of this and the understanding, but also it makes your head hurt. And they do it on purpose for sure. But along with the updates that we are on the lookout for, we're going to be on the lookout for the government vote on opening or shut down October 14th. On October 15th is the day that Devon Braet, Adrianna's boyfriend, is to be sentenced for their crimes. Now, let me give you the backstory of this. In my October 3rd Mean Girls Crime Edition episode, I discussed a case that was wild, coming straight out of Utah, of a girl, Adrianna Blake, and her boyfriend, Devon, who it was a robbery gone wrong. Or actually it wasn't gone wrong. It was all wrong, horrible, and probably intended to happen. Shot dead and killed, and then burned the evidence of two people. The two people were Brian and I believe it was Emily. Emily was Brian's girlfriend. Brian was Adrianna's roommate. So Adrianna and her boyfriend killed, shot dead, and burned the evidence and the bodies of her roommate and his girlfriend. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This all happened back in January of 2024. Adrianna was sentenced in July of 2024. So shortly after the crime, she was sentenced to life in prison and already found guilty. Her boyfriend already found guilty, still waiting on his sentencing as of October 15th. But I have so much more of an update on this case. I did not do my due diligence because I found out more facts about the case that was published in July of 2025. I did the case way after that, but did not find this. So as of Yahoo's reporting, right, the episode was about, women's crime. So I was heavily focused on Adrianna's role in it and not necessarily her boyfriend's. And I did note that, the boyfriend, of course, he was heavily involved, but I mainly focused on Adrianna because it was women's crimes. But her boyfriend, I stated previously, was charged with 3 crimes. No, baby. According to court documents, he was charged of 14 crimes. No, I did not write all of them down. I did not memorize all of them because that's entirely too many crimes. And of course it was, first degree murder, murder this, murder that, body that, robbery this. That is the case. And when you look at him, he was and is, he's a looker, meaning he has like the bad boy type look. If you like that look, he's bad boy attractive in a jumpsuit, mugshot ready. So sad to say, but it's the truth. He definitely looks like a smooth talker. He's slick with it and can get a woman caught up. And that's what I'm guessing more of happened here. The more that I, read the Yahoo News publication and, read a little more about the update, because I knew it was coming up. So I'm like, let me look at the update so I can update you guys on this case and myself. But yeah, he looked like he definitely got her caught up. I said previously he was 31. No, he's 35. So he's almost in his 40s with a girl who is fresh out of her teens, and got her roped up for murder and disturbance of a corpse. Very, very wild. And also there was another person who was convicted of these crimes who I didn't even see about. So there was 2 women involved in the crime and 1 man. What they were involved in, what they had going on, that they had to kill this girl, Adrianna's roommates and his girlfriend, is so wild to me. But the woman who was involved as well in the crimes is Melissa Weber. She took a plea deal though. So Melissa, she decided to plead guilty to aggravated misdemeanor felony charges of degree of 2 charges of felony abuse of a corpse, but they were dismissed, and she's on 2 years of probation. So I guess she probably cooperated with the police and offered those 2 up on a platter, and that's why they were sentenced so heavily. And originally, looking into the investigation, you would have thought that Adrianna, the young girl, was the mastermind behind the crimes. Now that I'm looking more into it, it may have been the boyfriend who got these women roped up. And like I said, I don't know. It was a robbery gone wrong. And I'm going to speculate a little bit, right? In my previous episode, I mentioned how the roommate, Brian, had money and it was a robbery gone wrong, perceived by the police. So Adrianna is this guy's roommate. I said I don't know if Devon was living with her, or if he would just, stay a couple of nights with her, maybe a week with her, and then leave, be on and off living with her type of situation. So did he pay attention to the roommate? Did he convince her to, do this? Maybe, the implication, but she didn't want to right out say that. So they're both still trying to, remove themselves from the crimes like that. But they're totally guilty, obviously. So yes, he is to be sentenced on Thursday, October 15th. So we're looking out for that. And also we have another update. And it's in regards to Carlos Nava, the Las Vegas rapist, illegal immigrant who is still in this country, crazily, if you ask me. Now, yeah, you've got due process. So I'm like, is his due process to go through his trial, be found guilty, and then be deported? Or is he going to be found guilty and then stay in the place? But anyway, So we already spoke about how he withdrew his plea of being guilty, and it was because he wanted to ask for a new attorney. So he wanted to ask for a new attorney, and instead of entering a guilty plea, he entered an Alfred plea. An Alfred plea is you admitting that the prosecutor has enough evidence to convict you to the crime, but you remain that you are not guilty and that you are innocent, which is crazy to me. So we're still going to be on the lookout for this update on this sicko, but he we'll get into what an Alfred plea is in the near future, like meaning the case behind it, because it was Alfred versus state such and such, and what all of that means and blah blah blah. So we'll get into that later, because my head is totally not even sane right now. I feel like I am losing my mind behind all of this, because it's like, dude, what even is this guy still doing here? It sounds like they really have him. They have him red-handed, like, honestly. So yeah, he's entering, the Alfred plea. And the district attorney, Julia Baker of Nevada, or maybe just of the Las Vegas area, Nevada, whatever. She said, quote, "It's really hard for someone to maintain I didn't do this when his sperm is places that indicate he probably did." And it's just like, yeah, they did find his sperm linking back all the way to 2003 crimes back then of the women. Now, I mentioned that, there were victims as young as minors. And Julia, confirms that there are minors, and she says that both the minors are 15, the prosecutor. So, the prosecutor, of course, is building a case against this guy. She's interviewing these women and all of these things. So he still, entered the Alfred plea to one felony charge of assault with a deadly weapon, which is the knife that he used to hold to the woman's throat. Disgusting. And I am, just like I said, going to be on the update and on the lookout for this. This was updated as of like a couple of days ago. Him in court, see his mugshot, see him in court. He looks like a sicko that you would want to avoid, obviously. He kind of has like that like his face is like so tight. Like, how someone's face is when it's been burned and like the skin is like super tight, they don't have any like, wrinkles in the face and like all of this stuff. He just has like that type of like, oh, his face was burned and like reconstructed with like the bulging eyes. Anyway, I'm probably being dramatic in describing him. He just looks like a sicko, and he probably wouldn't look like no. Even if you didn't know this about him, looks like a sicko. Looks like a criminal. Anyway, now, even with that being said, I did see a post from the governor of Nevada, Joe Lombardo, and it was on X, formerly known as Twitter, and it was in response to a publication by Emma Busley. I think that's how you say that, Bussley, Busley from Fox News. He just quoted her publication, and he said, quote, "This case is a tragic reminder of why Nevada must continue cooperating with federal immigration authorities. Under my watch, Nevada will never be a safe haven for dangerous illegal criminals who defy our laws and endanger our communities." Now, even with him saying that, I reposted it because I was like, okay, good for you. Even with him saying that, he was in this country illegally for over a decade. all the way up into 2025. He had been deported in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And then he came back 1 year later or something like that. So over the span of 20 years, 22 years over, he was able to commit crimes against 17 women, 2 being minors. I don't know if all of his crimes, it sounds like all of these crimes are in Nevada. I don't know where else this man committed crimes, but I'm like, Joe Lombardo, this man was in this state for at least over 10 years committing crimes against women. And Joe Lombardo has been the governor of Nevada for quite some time. It's been over 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. He was the governor back during the deadliest shooting in American history, the Las Vegas shooting at Mandalay Bay. He was governor then too. That was back in, I think, 2019. I can't even remember when that was. I can't even Google and research that right now. But yeah, so, I mean, no, Joe Lombardo wasn't governor when this guy came into the country, but still, it just, to me, it's good, but it does also, fall on deaf ears. But with him saying that, it's still just a friendly reminder to note that, no, they are not trying to go after Abuela. They are trying to get men like Carlos Nava out of the country. Because I'm like, yeah, this man should totally not be in the country. There's no reason to have this type of person in the country. And he had a deportation order. He was deported. ICE did that. That is what ICE is supposed to be doing. And that is what they are doing. And it's just like no job. I mean, it's just like any other job, right? You sign up to be ICE. These are our qualifications. This is what we're going to pay you a year. Are you okay with this? Yeah, I'm okay with this. That's all it is. It's not like they are specifically like seeking out these people. They are doing a job. It is a job for them. And you may not like it, but I am like, yeah, y'all need to get this people. Somebody need to get him out of here. Because I'm like, sir, this is crazy. He don't need to be in the country at all. Because I'm like, sir, you can kick him out of Nevada, but he don't need to be in none of the states doing this. But the government shut down. We've got crime rampant from illegals, Americans, terrorists, Pakistanis, Arabs, and everybody else and their mama. And remember to do your research, pay attention, and definitely pay attention. Definitely pay attention, because I just, and you know what? There was also a false reporting that I saw about how like, oh, they've got immigrant children, and you do a little more research into that one. And no, they don't have any illegal immigrant children that they're deporting, got in chains and whipping and raping or doing anything to. That's just not the case. One they were putting around I saw was of someone who they tried to portray as a girl, but she is 27 years old and she's just short. So it's like, of course, you may think she's a child from the back because, I mean, the Hispanic, Mexican, Latino heritage, women and men too, I mean, they're all like 3'9". So yeah, they look like kids. And you would have thought, yeah, that was a child, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't a child. And then you had the one case where like, oh, they deported the kid. And it's like, no, the mom was deported and she took her baby with her. So it's just little stuff like that where they have you thinking that they're deporting Abuela and they're deporting U.S. citizens and they're just rounding up random people. And it's like, no, they're trying to get Carlos Nava out of the country, people like that. Because there are a lot of them. And you just don't even actually think when you look into some of these crimes, you end up finding out that it's an illegal immigrant. And it's like, oh, I should and will do a podcast on illegal immigration crimes. I'm gonna have to do it because I'm seeing it pop up. And when I see it pop up, I want to talk about it. Just like the government shutdown, I was like, I kind of want to talk about this. And yeah, I'm totally thinking about making an entire episode about illegal immigration crimes. I'm saying illegal immigration crimes. Those are crimes too, because what Joe Biden did, oh wow, illegal, but that's neither here nor there. I digress. Also, in regards to Adrianna Blake, I definitely want to do an episode on men driving women to commit crimes, because like I said, the further I look into it, I'm like, sounds like this guy had these women caught up. It kind of looks like that to me. And then you have the case as well in the Mean Girls crime episode that I mentioned about the woman killing her husband. I'm like, was he driving her crazy? I don't know. But I'm definitely like, yeah, men will drive you crazy. And vice versa. Sounds like women are driving you crazy. So who knows? It's a lot to digest, and it's a lot to take in, but just remember to remain vigilant. Have an amazing Friday. Hug your family, hug your loved ones. Remember, it's all about community, building it up, and just remember, it's okay.